Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome from me and Millie, my cat. You might just see her purring, she's here on my lap. And I'm here to do a reading for your collective reading, just some spiritual guidance. After the last reading I did where we had a bit of spiritual guidance at the end, I've been guided to sort of extend that, so to speak, just with some more messages that want to come through for you all today. Oh, you might just see Millie there you go, she's put her paw up on the table for a moment. She wants to join in, I think, today. She might even help us pick a card, not sure. Just going to move them near her. No, she's more interested in what she's doing. I know you can't see her. She's there's a bit of frayed cotton coming off the edge of this fabric and she's like chewing on it. She does that. She's quite playful. So I hope you're all doing well anyway. I'd just like to say thank you all for your views and support. For those who've sent donations via Super Thanks, Coffees and PayPal, it really means a lot and helps me keep the channel going. Thank you so much. I hope that last reading resonated with you all. We were looking at sort of what's going on energetically. As a follow-on from that, I just wanted to say that some of you might start to realise things. So about that truth coming to light, it's gradual. You might have some realisations, either downloads or you see something, you feel something and you think, hang on, that's an injustice. So back to that injustice I was saying, that's going to turn into a justice. You're being guided to just stay grounded and have faith, even if you feel like no one's got your back. But divine has, and things will balance out, because that's what karma is all about. It's not punishment, it's just balancing the energy. So I just wanted to sort of share that. So this is, as I say, it could be about you, things going on around you or out there globally, that I'm talking about obviously. But now let's just see anything else that wants to come through. Wow, we got a unicorn, very powerful. And it says worthiness, resting, self-discovery, introspection. Yeah, so this is what we're being guided to do. This is about these realisations. This is when you may find you have this clarity. When you reflect, take some time out. Some of you might have felt very tired recently. Now that can be because of a spiritual battle that's been going on around you. Some of you might not even be aware of this, but this has been playing out. I've had confirmation of this from Spirit. Some of you may be aware, and if you're very tired, you've not really done much, it's because of what's been going on around you. You are protected, but you still feel the aftermath, let's say. So just take time for you, and when you do, go within and just, you know, sort of reflect. So this is all about, because we've got number 30, it's about sort of wholeness. It's all about your own spiritual journey. You know, whatever's been happening, some things may have been happening, you wonder why. Yeah, I'm just being guided to touch on this. I just remembered something that came through, I think it was yesterday, that I've been guided to share for this reading. Some people wonder, you know, why does God, why does the divine let these things happen to me and to others? Now, this might be hard to take, but sometimes it's allowed to happen for a while. Obviously you are protected, angels will intervene if, let's say, you're in danger, but It's allowed to happen to bring on this awakening, introspection, self-discovery, in terms of seeing things. So part of the awakening. Because some of you might be saying, oh, I've awakened. Sure, I have too, but there are certain things I've awakened to, even recently. You know, seeing things more and more and more. And that's what I mean by us awakening gradually, and these things happening to allow us to do that. So for example, you know, something's been happening to you, you haven't realised it, then you see a clue that gives you a sign, you're guided to see that thing, or to see something happening that was hidden, then it's exposed. And then it ends, after that it ends, it stopped, because you've seen it. So I hope that makes sense. That's why certain things happen. It's all for a reason. We got the owl again. This came out in the last reading, I remember, because I said I love owls. Yeah, so again it says transformation, exploration, adventure. Owls are very wise. We've got butterflies in this card. You might be seeing a lot of butterflies. Yeah, we got a big one here. I just remembered them there. And I remember I said about the butterflies I've been seeing, more than normal. I usually see them every year, but it's very unusual for me to see them in my yard. And I've been seeing them. They've been coming in to visit me. And I know some of you commented actually that you've been seeing more butterflies, and also more signs in nature. I think I mentioned that nature is shifting, and that it's giving us a sign that, like, especially in this card, I'm seeing like nature coming awake, coming alive, rather, and that's also being reflected in us, in the collective as well. So that's really interesting. 6 for balance and harmony as well. You might have dreams of butterflies. Some of you have been guided with take flight to move on from a situation that no longer serves you, energies that no longer serve you, you know, karmic ties I'm getting here. Yeah, and as I said that, we got onwards. That's come through as well. Release, shame, hope. There we go. Yeah, that links, doesn't it? And there's birds here, freedom. You might see a lot of birds as well, which are a sign of that, and sign of peace and hope. Hope's come out here, yeah. See how he's looking back. This hair is looking back. So maybe for some of you, you're reflecting, which has come out here. And maybe you have some compassion, you're forgiving, and you're wondering about going back to a certain way of being, some energies potentially you've moved on from. But Spirit is saying release, move forward. There are certain situations, energies that are not meant to continue in your life. You're meant to learn from it, see it for what it is it about the awakening, and move on. And that's when you'll be rewarded as well. You might have feelings of shame come up in terms of doing that. So maybe because of society's expectations, you know, are you moving on from a relationship? Do you feel shame, like wondering what people are going to think? Are you moving on professionally? And again, are you wondering what others are going to think of you for doing that? Who cares what they think? It's your life. How do you feel? What do you want to do? Is what I'm getting. And if you are feeling shame, then it could be highlighting some self-compassion, self-care, self-love that's needed there for you in terms of the way you're thinking about yourself. You know, you don't have to justify to anyone. I'm just getting with this card. And it's like, here we've got, obviously, these images, the woods, quite dark, highlighting, sort of going within, and things that have been going on around you might not have seen. But here we've got a clearing, so seeing the light. It's coming out with that one. Wow, we got another owl. So as I said, a sign of wisdom. You might love owls, I really do. It says quiet achiever, solitude, privacy, discretion. Yeah, so you might be quite solitary, quite private, and you know, you might have done really well, for example, but you keep that to yourself. You're an achiever, you don't need to boast. It's those that you often hear all the time that have nothing to say. Just sort of saying this because there are certain energies I sometimes hear around this area, let's say, and you know, it's either all aggression, hot air, gossip, nothing basically. You know, and they're the ones you don't want to be listening to, you don't want to hear. You know, and there are people around you probably out there in the world who are very quiet, but they're achievers. They're doing stuff behind the scenes. This is also like the light workers out there. They're the ones we want to follow. This links to the last reading when we had that one on following inspiring leaders, and some people getting distracted by that noise, those energies that want to be heard. As I said, you might hear them because they're so loud, but they've got nothing to say, nothing relevant, let's say, to share. We got 22, master number, so I'm getting life lessons. We've got 21, 22, transition, coming through there. So we'll take one more of these. Anything else? Okay, I think that one wants to come out. And we got the fox, yeah. Just as I was saying about that card with the foxes, I could see it in my mind's eye. It says opportunity, manifesting, discernment, discipline. There we go. So a fox is adaptable, you know, clever. The owl is wise. This is what you're being guided to tap into, that inner wisdom, discernment. Discernment in terms of those around you, maybe those who are in the fox energy, which can be cunning as well. Being disciplined with yourself, decisions you make, doing what's best for you. 14 is the number of temperance, which is about balance, balancing the energies. So that's what's happening at the moment in the collective. Now, the bottom of the deck, I think that's another fox. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it says fidelity, relationships, faithfulness, reassurance. So that's kind of linking with what I was saying about, you know, decisions being made. Could be about relationships. You know, leaving something behind, but the reassurance is that something better will come in for you. Something stable is what I'm getting. So this card's sort of asking you to be faithful, be a pillar of support for your loved ones, reliable and loyal, and then you'll ensure the strength and longevity of your relationships, and attract that as well, because we've got manifesting there coming through. It's number 9, the number of the hermit, so the number of going within again, introspection that we had before. This card's also got magnolias in it. You might see them, you might see beautiful flowers, but if you see magnolias, this is a promise of a faithful, trustworthy and dependable relationship. Could be on the way. So he's looking into the future there. Maybe you've been questioning someone as well, their trustworthiness, for example. Okay, you might have just heard Millie. She's come back in for a bit of attention, meowing. She really wants to be heard today, it would seem. So I'm going to just pull from another deck now. Any other messages for the collective? We've got Dove. We've really got nature coming through in these cards. With the Dove for peace and love. Okay, you might just see Millie there. She's now jumped up. Yeah, she definitely wants to be seen today, so she's giving you all her love. It's interesting that nature has come out a lot. So you might also see signs, from your pets, for example, and from nature. As I say that, she's jumped down again. So it's a quick visit from Millie. The dove is a sign, a reminder that there's always hope and new possibilities and miracles out there for you. The divine is making it happen. The dove here, and this is quite beautiful. I hope you can see it because it's just got a bit bright in here. Just realised I'm using natural light. The dove there is above the world. Isn't that a beautiful sign? Peace in the world. So I love that. There's a change. This is like Gaia, Mother Nature. Changes in nature, as I said, that you might be seeing. You might see a dove. I have to say, I saw a dove. I see them sometimes, but it was very special recently when I saw one, a real one. That is, it kind of blew my mind. So you might as well. You might be seeing beautiful birds at the moment. We got dreams, so yeah, you might be seeing signs in your dreams. So you might have a dream of a dove or something significant that you remember from your dream. If that's the case, look it up, because there'll be different meanings. It could be telling you something. But this is also a sign to have hope with dreams, something you've dreamt of doing, potentially. I'm just noticing, I've not seen this before in this card, looks like a couple there. There's someone lying down there, not sure if you can see, it's got a bit bright in here, sorry everyone. But it looks like there's someone next to this person, yeah. So, maybe you've dreamt of love, of that relationship that came out there. Have faith. Maybe you've seen someone in your dreams. You keep having a recurring dream of someone. Maybe you've met them before, maybe you haven't. And that could be a sign of your future, for example. Wow, everything happens for a reason. It's off camera, but this card from the other deck has slipped underneath there, so that's clearly for us. Wow, okay, that's interesting. We've got 7 deadly sins, humanity's destructive traits. Here we go. So here's the dark stuff that's been going on out there. The dark energies we're seeing here. There's an energy lurking in the shadows, holding people back, creating obstruction. You might have experienced this, and you may see this in your waking life or in your dreams. So again, pay attention, especially dreams are coming through actually with this. You might get a sign of this in your dreams. You might see the person who's been committing one of these sins. Maybe it's been against you, for example. But that is changing. There is divine intervention, which I'm seeing here, like the divine hand intervening in these things. So it's interesting because we have fidelity, it could be infidelity that some of you experienced. I'm also getting jealousy, greed come through. Some of you have been through betrayal, for example. And it's time to forgive with the dove there. Move forward with peace. Let those people go on their own journey, you go on your own journey. You know, some of them might be people you need to let go of. For example, if they have betrayed you, do you think you can trust them again in the future? Once you've seen someone's true colours, do you think they can change? Well, people can change. I just want to say that. I know that. People can change. But some people don't. I've also seen that. I've seen people who you forgive them and they do the same thing, just in a different way. And for some of you, it's just a lesson, you know, that relationship was karmic, but for you, it's the lesson in seeing it for what it is and having enough self-worth to turn your back and say, I deserve better than this. Wow. Yeah, I've got a bit of emotion there, so that might trigger some of you. So take your time with the introspection right back to the beginning. If that's the case, you know, go with him. So we'll take one more card. And we got knowledge, yeah, which is linking with the owl. So that is really coming through today in this reading with the owl twice. It doesn't actually say knowledge on them, but the owl is wise. And I'm seeing that in this person as well, you know, solitary energy, who is reading, so they're trying to acquire knowledge, you know, to better themselves. But also, as I said, from what you see, it could be something you read that gives you some sort of clarity and insight as well. Because I'm seeing here like these memories around her. So it's like she's reading and it's bringing up different situations that are coming to mind. And she's thinking about them, thinking about things she's been through, how they've shaped her as a person, how she feels about those situations, whether she's forgiven, moved on, whatever it is. And it's interesting, that's kind of come through in this reading, isn't it, from things I've said as well. It could be the same for some of you. You know, that you've gained some insight potentially from something I've shared. But obviously knowledge is the most powerful tool that you can have. So seek it, you know. If you want to find out about something, you could read about something, for example. Now, I've just looked at the bottom of the deck, and this I've really been guided to share. Confrontation, pick your battles wisely. Now that really does link at the moment in terms of the energies I've been feeling, things that have been happening out there in the collective, the disputes, people trying to provoke, send obstacles your way, for example, trying to hinder your peace. You know, you are very strong. So we've got a big cat here. You are protected, you're very strong. However, silence can be your strength. Confronting someone and retaliating isn't always that. let's say, isn't always a strength, you know. It can lower your vibration. And that's what those dark energies want, those dark forces that might be trying to provoke you. They want to bring your energy down, distract you. They see you rising, because I'm seeing, it's almost like she's flying. She's on this cat, but there's a lot of energies here in the sky, energies that are sort of flying, ascending. And so those energies come out suddenly from the woodwork and they want to bring you down. So they'll do something to annoy you, antagonise, try and start an argument, want you to come out and retaliate. And when they see you don't, they think you're weak. But I just want to say you're not. You're actually stronger for not stooping to that level, because you're ascending and they can't even get there anymore. This is something else that's come through to me channeled. If you, say for example, we're at this level, in terms of vibration, that is not status at all. You've moved up, now you're up there. They can't even reach you anymore because that vibration has expired. This came through to me yesterday. It's quite bizarre the way it came through. And so those energies are realising that they can't get to you anymore, especially if you pick your battles wisely. And even if you do confront them, do it with grace. Okay, and below that we've got Battle of the Blues. I'm just getting that battle, that spiritual battle coming through. It says take steps towards positive change. Yeah, speak truth, but know when the time is right to speak the truth as well. Be wise, like the owl. Okay everyone, I'm going to leave that there. I really hope you've enjoyed this reading. It really does seem to sort of follow on from the last one, so I hope it's brought you some clarity and insight. Please do let us know in the comments if this resonated for you, if you enjoyed the reading. I'm happy to do these readings for you all. It's a pleasure. Thank you again so much to those who've supported me with your subscribes, comments, likes, donations. It really means a lot. I'll be back soon to do another reading. Sending peace of a night to you all.